Good morning, traders. It is Wednesday, March 19th, 9:32 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to another video with Digital Goatz Academy. I'm your host, Antoine Farrar, and this is our live analysis segment. So the first thing that I do want to go into is that I do want to talk about US 30. Yesterday, I gave out pretty much my thoughts on what I thought US 30. Hold on, let me pull up my screen. Give me a second. Let me turn the TV down too. Hope everyone's trading week is starting off pretty good. But anyway, US 30, right? This isn't the chart that I was necessarily showing. Hold on. Let me get rid of that too. Okay, so I was showing this chart yesterday. And that video will be up today for my YouTubers. I'll probably put both of these videos up today. Now, the one thing that I mentioned is I was expecting the market to retest. There was a 10 a.m. candle like on like the 15-minute time, 45-minute time frame. I wanted the market to pull back to this area. And it did, but it went obviously a little bit lower, which was, I should have paid attention to that, which was another level I had marked up, which was a gap. So the market retested this gap and pushed up from this market currently today. One, we're positive. Again, the one thing that I like to see is the number 100, either negative or positive if I'm buying or selling. So we want to keep up this momentum with the possibility that between like now and 10:30, maybe even going into 11 a.m. Eastern time that the market could react. But this should be our overall direction. I mean, we were hunting this down since pretty much last week after the market made its final volatile drop. And this was the things that we were expecting. I hope y'all can't hear the lawnmower outside my complex. If y'all can, I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so this is what we were expecting. Again, when we just kind of scale out and drop back, we wanted to see a bullish engulfing, which it's not showing it like it did Friday, but it definitely was engulfing this candle, right? So that if you saw it Sunday, you would have probably been confused. But Friday, the way the market closed, this candle was bullish engulfing. It was engulfing like one or two candles over here, being higher in the body than the next bearish candle. So Sunday, market gap down a little bit, created a gap, consolidated, pushed all the way up here. Yesterday, we pulled back entirely. We pulled back basically, if you look, we pulled back to 618 of this entire candle. Well, we rejected 786. So the one thing that I said I like to see is closes. I like to see closes above like 618, 50%, definitely above 786, because what it's saying is that it attempted to go there, but because we have structure right here, and we're still waiting for this next day to close out. But the fact that we're starting off bullish in the morning going into the New York session, that's good signs to me. That spells that we'll probably remain bullish the rest of the day, if not consolidate. I'm hoping that we don't consolidate. I'm hoping we break up out of this zone. But there's a lot of news now. Yesterday, if I do want to bring everybody's attention to Bitcoin, and then we'll come back to like US 30 and stuff, because there was the CEO of NVIDIA was speaking yesterday, and clearly this guy had positive things to say, because you start to see Bitcoin rally a little bit. Now, if we break it down to where we were looking at yesterday or the day before, hold on. I think it's still, but anyway, I can't do nothing about that. But anyway, so when we were looking at Bitcoin as it closed Friday, the market pulled back to this zone right here. So you see, market broke down to this zone, then pushed up. Then from there, started consolidating, push back down, which is probably to a previous high over here, right? So we just drew this line back. It does match up. Matches up with the high of this doji candle right here, right? So the fact that price is pushing up from there, those are good signs that we wanted to see, right? We want to see that type of movement in the market. We want to see that the market is actually pushing away from these potential data zones, these data points within the market that we know create structure. So currently, right now, we're looking at cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin. Bitcoin is up. It's up in profit right now, which is a good sign. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a good sign based off of the information we have currently. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to break this level of consolidation right here to confirm that we're still bullish and we're not, making a change in direction, or this entire pattern, we're not like hitting these zones and pushing all the way down here. But so far, so good. I didn't watch that information. I didn't watch that news outlet on what that guy said, in relation to NVIDIA. But I know that NVIDIA this morning has started off positively. You know what I'm saying? So it's obviously it was very optimistic on whatever his conversation in the interview was. And again, you're seeing it transpire in the market. The data is filtering in the market on what the fundamentals are saying. So now we're getting to that point, within the year where the market is actually starting to correlate with the fundamentals, you know what I'm saying, versus like the chaos that we had into pretty much the beginning of, all of February and somewhat January. We knew a drop was coming because that just made sense. And because again, if you watch the market like I watched the market when Trump won the polls, then you would have saw that just doesn't seem normal, even though I'm still new to the game. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. So again, with what we wanted to see, things are starting to happen. And again, the technicals are going to show us. They're going to try to throw you off. But again, if you play your cards right, be patient, wait for a break of structures, you know what I'm saying, then you'll be able to make your you'll be able to accurately make a position or entry within the market. That still wasn't bad, but I know US 30 is pretty violent for people. So you probably would have wanted to see how far this was going to go, because, if you entered here, I'm just doing this for hypotheticals, like based off of 0.01. Yeah, that's almost $160 that you would have been down with US 30. But I don't see that as like a negative. Again, you have to have the equity, but you have to know, like, okay, what's your risk level? You know what I'm saying? Like, base your stop loss off of that. So even from that number, like even from that number being down negative almost 160, you would have been up 200 already from this position. You know what I'm saying? If you were able to hold, a position like that. But currently we're still consolidating. You see it struggling to break these zones. But again, with this hour well, it's an 8-hour. Let me see. Yeah, we want this hour candle basically to close as it is, kind of remain strong. If it can close even stronger, that'll be better. But we want to see it remain as it is. Now, here's the thing, because it's still early, it's still early in the trading year, but also early in the trading week. If this market decides to like close like this, you might have the possibility of like 100% pullback come like 10:30. You know what I'm saying? So that's stuff that you have to be like mindful of when you're dealing with indices, is that until they really break out, they love doing that 100% pullback into the previous candle. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep watching. I hope it closes strong. So I hope we keep pushing up. And if it does close strong, more than likely it's not gonna come like 100%. It's gonna it's gonna come like part way of that, but start consolidating upwards. But yeah, this is what we wanted to see. This is exactly what we wanted to see overall from US 30 after it made that turnaround down here. So I think this is the final shift in the market. And I may be like premature in this, but again, I'm not an expert when it comes to this pattern. I always assume that I'm getting the pattern wrong, but I don't know. For my traders that's out there that discover this pattern pretty easily, but does this look like a inverted head and shoulder to you all? Somebody in the community talk to me, leave me a message. Does that look like trying to find the right shade of green? Because I mean, I don't know how it looks from you guys' perspective, but from mine, that looks like very bright and ugly. But anyway, you see this line right here, right? So is this our right shoulder? I mean, is this our left shoulder, our head, and then our right shoulder over here? Like, that could possibly be what we're looking for. One thing I know is that when you're looking at consolidation, it shouldn't, like, the market shouldn't be consolidating over here, like, if the market was still selling, you know what I'm saying? So if the market was still selling, the consolidation point should have already retested like one of these previous lows. But you see how the market is making its way back up here. So the fact that the market is making its way back up here is more likely it's gonna, go past all these consolidation points. We've already blown past this point, proving that, yeah, I am trying to go up. I hit this resistance level, this range high over here, and the market started snaking down, correcting itself from this previous consolidation point. But if we just look at it, we've already broken past it. You see what I'm saying? So let me just make that, I don't know. Let's just make that purple. And let's figure out the highest point currently from this consolidation. So we look at just where the resistance was at, you can see that the market broke out of that and then tested back into the zone. So as far as structure is concerning, yes, this is bullish right now. I mean, unless some news, which I did check news today on my FX book, I don't see anything besides FOMC. Now that could be related to this afternoon. So probably maybe around like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you'll probably see the market maybe, after it's done, like being bullish, maybe try to violently retest if it pushes up strong, after we get past some of that oil data that's coming into the market. And then you might have another possible entry. But to me, this looks like our overall position. It's gonna, fight. And for anybody that's jumping in right now, like, it's gonna look ugly to you if you weren't already in a previous position. But like I said, I like this position. This is the position that I was looking at us to maintain. And then just, we gotta wait. That's the name of this game. We gotta wait. But the fact that, the 930 candle, we got extremely bullish. We've been retesting on these smaller time frames as far as like the technical analysis has been showing us. Like, yeah, so far so good. So here we have is like a big pullback from this breakout. Again, it broke out this structure right here. Start telling yourself what the market is doing. It broke out, even though this is a 25-minute time frame, like, that broke out a structure. What should it do after it like continues pushing up? After it pushes up, it should want to come back and pull back to one of these areas. Which I'm looking at it to maintain this trend. So we do want it to stay like above this 10 o'clock candle position right here. Like that'll still confirm, the bullish momentum. The one thing that I'm not open to, but that I could be prepared for, is that if the market wanted to create support down here and hit a high zone, and then the market tries to push all the way back down here to create support again. I don't know, but that's just something to be mindful of, that could happen. That could happen. Like, this could not be the true trend yet, but this is telling you, hey, this is the direction that I'm trying to go, but I still have room to like pull back. Again, we're still consolidating. This hasn't broken out of that consolidation zone from this range high. It just went deeper than what we expected. So just remember that this is still consolidating until we get a true breakout to this upside. But once we get a breakout, we know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, buy, wait for the correction, buy. You know what I'm saying? And again, stocks should be reflected by this. Like, you should start seeing, like, for instance, I'm just gonna go to one of my stocks that I know that I've been looking at for it to be bullish. Well, that's one of them, but where is it? Dreamfinders Homes. So this is for long-term investing. Now, I'm not about to go into like long-term investing, but what I'm showing is that I analyze the stock market the same way as I do foreign exchange market. And you can see I have my annotations here, and this has been reflected by what's been happening like with US 30 and S&P and stuff. So US 30 did pull down, US 30 did start consolidating. And currently, now the stock market, is it open? Yeah, it is open right now. But for some reason, I don't start seeing a lot of momentum because, again, I'm not a true stock trader yet. I don't see a lot of momentum till like 10 o'clock, 10:30. So the market is open, but no momentum has happened. But again, we should start not exactly being reflected, but these are the good signs that I wanted to see. I wanted to see like this specific stock come back down to $20. It came down to $20, 20.83, and then it started getting bullish from there. Same thing that I'm seeing from like US 30. So no doubt. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go. No doubt in my mind that we're still bullish. We just have to break out of this pattern right here. So, I mean, don't get left behind. The news is there. Not to mention, let me look at the dollar real quick while we're discussing this, because the dollar's been giving us like a headache too. But at the same time, it's still been maintaining that position. And I know that probably is like, man, dude, you've been saying that this whole time. And I get it. Like, trust me, I was even skeptical, but it has not broke that zone of 103. And 103 was the first zone that we were looking for the dollar to start turning around to. Now, again, the way this thing's been doing, it could decide to push down again. But, it's been creating it's been refusing to like continue to push down and creating structure points that I think is actually going to carry the market up. And again, you can see a lot of this stuff being reflected in other currency pairs, such as like GU. GU to me finally looks like it's turning over. Who's to know at this point? But it truly does look like it's finally looking to turn over, unless this is just a support structure that it was trying to create and it's going to push over. But normally when you have like a move like that, like the market should have still continued up if it was still bullish. But the fact that it retraced all this 100%, it looks like it's respecting this. It looks like it's respecting this as resistance. And I think we finally hit that point. And of course, it's going to be on a Wednesday. That GU is actually ready to push down, and it's still been playing around my previous stop loss. So the fact that it pushed a little bit higher than that, like that kind of makes sense to me. But to me, there should have been no reason why I wanted to return here, even for a retest. So I think this is the final move up, just to clear sellers out. But now we're clearing out buyers, and now we're going to clear out buyers like the rest of the time. That's my expectation. So yeah, US 30 is showing us what we want to see. I definitely want to see that. Yeah. You feel me, traders? You feel me? We definitely want to see that, yo. We want to maintain this too. So, obviously tomorrow, I'm live trading today, but this is more so analysis to try to find potential positions. But I mean, based off that head and shoulder pattern that I was assuming, I mean, shit, it looks like it. Do you hear me? Like, it looks like it. So that'll be it for today. Again, nothing's really going on that's volatile. Again, but we do have that news for FOMC within 4 hours. So that'll be around like 1 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely pay attention to that. It's still early in the year, so secure your profits when you're up and look for potential opportunities to jump back in. But don't be so afraid that you lose your position. Some things you have to wait. Other trades, like if it's iffy, like one thing I learned from my mentor, like you'll never go wrong closing in blue or green, whatever it is on your screen when you're in profit. You know what I'm saying? So that's my time, traders. Again, as always, like this video, comment on anything that you find value in. I think we've covered everything. I wanted to cover Bitcoin. I wanted to cover US 30. I tapped into GU. There is potential for oil. Let's look at that real quick. I think there's going to be potential buy opportunities for oil. I think oil has finally stopped its selling momentum, and I think that we're accumulating orders in order to buy back up. So that's what I think is going to happen. You just got to find your position. Oil does have a lot of news coming out today. I mean, a lot of news. It should actually be triggering, I think, in the next hour or so. I forgot what time that news is coming out, but my suggestion is that because it's in a consolidation state, I would say wait till oil shows its hand, like, after that news comes out, because that news is going to send oil all over the place, in my opinion, or just make it unclear on what the direction is. I do think that this is a support structure that we're currently at. So for me, what I would like to see is I want to see it touch this resistance and then pull back and then, take a position from there. But I want to see that happen first. I think this is a good position for like the buy, but I'm already trading what I'm trading, so I'm not really keen on, chasing everything. I'll wait for more data, and that'll give me a little bit more certainty on like what the market is doing within the energy space. But I think the only thing that's going to be affected once these tariffs kick into steel and gold and stuff are like resources like that. I think energy, I think energy is actually start to being more positive, which will make gas increase. So definitely, like be prepared for that, unless there's some other conditions that may change that. But from what my experience, seeing that oil's going down, gas should be somewhat cheaper and stuff. And then if price of oil goes up, then gas will be a little bit more expensive. But who is that? Did we just get somebody? Oh, what up, sis? What's going on, yo? I'm actually about to close this session out, but did you want me to look at something real quick while I'm on?
Oh no, I saw you had dropped the link. I know I'm late. I was just gonna hop on and see what you was talking about. But if you ended it, go ahead. I'll
Oh,
look at your
well,
recording.
I was talking about US 30. So real quick, like while you on, like these were the positions that I gave for you. Well, I didn't give positions because I don't give positions, but this was our expectation yesterday. And I'm gonna push that video out on YouTube and this one today. So I was
Okay.
saying that what I wanted to see from US 30 yesterday, I assumed that it possibly could have pushed down to this area where it says 10 a.m. candle right there. It
Mm-hmm.
obviously dropped a little bit lower to the gap that was there. But I still envisioned that it was going to respect the zone. As you can see, since 9:30, it's respecting this zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So freaking, I think that we're good for indices on the buy side. Last week I had mentioned that with indices, specifically US 30, but obviously I think that's across the board when it comes to indices. US 30 closed as a bullish engulfing, and that's something I even dropped within the group. That it doesn't look like this now. I hate that about the market, that the data will change as more data is presented. But this was a
Mm-hmm.
bullish engulfing. It doesn't look like it today, but on Friday it closed as a bullish engulfing, and it was engulfing two bearish candles. And I said to the community, I was like, yo, if this thing closes a bullish engulfing, that bitch is bullish. And you
Yeah.
can see Sunday it gapped down. This is where the gap was made, and then it collected that fast, and then it returned yesterday to retest basically. And I even drew this out for the group. It rejected 786. It came as low as 786, but the closer structure was at 618. This is a
Mm-hmm.
buy move to me. You know what I'm saying? Unless it
Mm-hmm.
starts hitting resistance. Now, we're still consolidating technically, so we can't say that we're out of the woods yet. The only thing we could say is that as far as right now, it's going to go to that high. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And once it goes to that high, it may want to play around, especially because there's news still, because this is still consolidation. So my only recommendation is like to observe. Don't get so scared that you get up out of your position if you're in pretty low, but observe and see if it breaks that high. But to me, this is a turnaround. And one thing that I said, I've always said that I suck at identifying these, but I was talking to the community, hoping that somebody on YouTube reaches out and says something. but I drew this green line. I don't know if you can see it because it's super light. Can you see it
Yeah, I
on
can
your
see it.
screen?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
see it.
yeah, it's super light. On my screen, it's like super light, like goddamn. But anyway, I was like, is this not a inverted head and shoulder pattern? Is this not the right shoulder right here? Is this not the head? I mean, the left shoulder. Yeah, I'm saying that, right? Yeah, the left shoulder, the head,
Mm-hmm.
right shoulder, based off of what's happening now. I suck at identifying that pattern specifically, but I don't know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? With what's going on right now, I don't know. So that I think all this stuff is reflected from last week. There was a lot of positive talk, nothing really negative. You could say neutral, but you
Mm-hmm.
can't say it was negative. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to hear. Right now it's looking good for US 30 S&P. We can look at Nas. I know that's your baby. And let's go S&P. That's what I want to be
Oh yeah,
focused
they all do.
on.
What's your sentiment on Bitcoin? Because I feel like, we're doing a lot of, okay, this is
I
how I
think
look
we're
at it.
going up,
Fol-
y'all. Here's
Following
here's
the
what I did,
indices,
man.
huh?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You say
Oh no,
something? Go
you
ahead.
good. No, I was just saying, like, for the most part, crypto and indices can kind of reflect each other sometimes. I mean,
I
essentially
agree.
crypto can do exactly what it wants to do, but for the most part, they can kind of mirror each other sometimes. So I feel like Bitcoin still has more downward area to visit. And so I feel like these moves right now that's happening, like these, I'm not really getting excited. Like, I don't feel like this is a true change and trend right now. Like, so we've been bearish with the indices, and I feel like either news is gonna get us to swipe some liquidity and bring us right back down, or something. So I'm just kind of watching it because we're back in this range, or at least with Nasdaq. Like, we broke out, and all the bulls is like, oh my gosh, we're going, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know, I'm not really convinced yet. So that's why I was just asking, what's your thought on Bitcoin? Because that's what I'm kind of looking at to see what I really feel about the indices.
Okay. That's a very good question. So, um, I have to look at it like you brought up a very valid point that I mean, crypto can do whatever it wants. It can.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
has really no foundation and no history that we can gauge it off of. So that's the thing that sucks right there. So we have to respect what it's showing us in our face. And we have to stick to like market structure. Now here's
Right.
the thing. I annotated, I don't know if you joined the group in 2023, but I annotated, we all jumped in Bitcoin around 15,000. We could have still been in Bitcoin. I said this. I said if price, I wrote all this before all this move happened, before the
Mm-hmm.
74K, all this stuff happened. I drew all this out saying that if price stays above this level, the trend will continue. You know
Yeah,
where I
that's
got this map from? I got this from the stock market cheat sheet. I orientated Bitcoin specifically to what that cheat sheet was showing me. Tell me why this is showing me exactly what the cheat sheet has been showing me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's crazy.
Now, I agree that based off of what we know as traders, that we should see some type of cool down, but I have to respect that it broke out of structure. It's
Mm-hmm.
retesting. What I think that it's going to do, I think that it's going to blow past this high because this isn't really true structure for like
Right.
resistance. I think it's going to
Right.
blow past that, then dive lower. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Okay.
this is still good buy opportunities for people, but you have to understand that either it could dive lower or this is the new support. So it could
Right.
play here as long as it wants until it's ready to break free from that. It may
Right.
not be going any lower than this. You know what I'm saying? And this is the
Yeah.
things that I wanted to see because I had to like teach myself like, okay, look at what the market is showing you because crypto does not play by these laws of the regular market. You know what I'm saying? Its
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
foundation does not show us like, oh, like yes, but it does show foundation. Consolidation, break out of consolidation, retest the consolidation. Oh my gosh, this should take it to the upside. Now, even here, like I was looking for the sell. Me and you both were looking for the sell.
Mm-hmm.
Played truly to what we were looking for. But
Mm-hmm.
now that we're back at a level of structure, we have to gauge that this may not be what we're looking for, where it's like, oh, it'll come violently down. It may do that, but
Yeah.
it ain't happening right now. So we have to go with what's happening within the time frame that we're looking at. Because the worst thing
Mm-hmm.
that I think that messed a lot of us up is that we see the move too far in the future and we chase that instead of being like, why am I not just buying to the sell, or why am I not
Right.
to the
Right.
buy? And even though we don't want to conflict like our market analysis, it's still like you see it. You a lot of times, man, you get that indication that it's like I see it, but either I'm in a position or I'm just hoping that, or I don't want to get out of this position, and it's the opposite and stuff. You play mind games with yourself. But I think that
Yeah.
based off the structure that we're seeing right now, I do think that crypto is bullish. And I think that it's reflecting by, again, pivoting off of the indices. Because here's the thing that I've grown to realize now, still even as a new trader. When we back out, we've always looked at the downside and shit. But look at all that room we have to go up. And before, I didn't believe. When I heard this dude was like, yeah, Bitcoin has the possibility to go to 700,000, I'm like, that sounds insane. But does it sound insane anymore when we watched it go to 108,000? Okay, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, does it sound insane anymore? Like it sounds far-fetched, like maybe not in our timeline, but it's like, okay, well, if that's the possibility, then really this is low for what may be possible, in our kids' future and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
I'm looking at it like this is a break of structure. When I broke it down, and we were talking about it earlier, right before you got on. When I broke it down, let me see. This is what I wanted to see. I said that. I said that this was it on the hour time frame? I said that based off of structure. Let me see which time frame. So I already annotated that this was new support, question mark. You know what I'm saying? It is new
Right.
support, showing that. So what it did was what we were looking at Friday, before last week, it dropped down, created a pullback, right? So pushed up over the weekend, consolidated, dropped down like when the week opened up to what? A previous high. So when you start back testing or backtracking or,
Mm-hmm.
looking at your analysis and start seeing what we know, what we've been taught and whatnot, and the market is showing us, it gets easier to paint the picture. As far as I know right now, this is new support. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna
Yeah.
treat it as such, and it's been showing me as such. The only thing I could do is like draw these annotations, these setups, just to see like what it may do. Okay, well, it's respecting
Mm-hmm.
this, it's responding to that. I do need a break here. That's what I was saying to the group earlier. I do need a break here, but as far as this time zone, which matters right now because that's money in between the zone, I have to
Yep.
respect that Bitcoin is
Yep.
bullish right now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that is probably coming
Mm-hmm.
to either this low or this. I'm shooting for at least 107, and then if it starts showing signs, I think it might go to 120. But
Mm-hmm.
this is our resistance point first. So it would have to break 108, which it does. How crypto works, it's probably going to just blow through that. This
Right.
stuff isn't valid now. This is the end of this selling trend, and I even said that. Like, this is the end of this selling trend. I had this mapped out perfectly, but I'm glad I did start looking towards the buy, because again, the buy is always longer than the sell. You know what I'm saying? So even
Mm-hmm.
when we look for these sells, it's like it should only be looking for short moves and
Short
not
term.
long
Yeah.
moves stuff,
Yep.
compared to buy should be like, I think it's infinitely gonna go to the moon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
No, you made a
so
good point. Like, and that's what I'm working on now. Like, I can see the overall analysis of what I feel like the market is doing overall. Like, okay, bearish, bullish, but being that I'm not like a swing trader where I'm holding trades for
right,
months or weeks, it's like I have to give what the market is giving me. So at the time, we
right,
could be in a pullback. At the time, we could be trending. But if I'm gonna get in, since I'm intraday day trader, it's like I gotta, so Tuesday may be bullish, even though I feel like the market may be bearish overall. I gotta take what it's giving me. So I gotta be able to break down and separate hey, Nisha, you feel like the market is bearish, but let's look at market structure, price action, and base our trades off of what it's giving you today. Like this
Right,
second, this
right.
hour, these 30 minutes, these 15 minutes, and trade off that so you can compound your account. So that's what I've been working on. Like not being so stuck on my own bias that I'm like, no, there's no way we're
That's
no, I feel like we're
phenomenal.
bearish. And when I really see the market change, I'm like, well, no, it's gotta come back down. Well, no, just change your analysis, change your sentiment so you don't lose money.
It's the trade with the trend. That's all. Like
Basically.
I've done it with US 30 this year, where it's like I've thought that it was buying up, and then but then I see it, and that's the thing. Most of us
Yep.
see it. We just don't pull the trigger. It's okay to take a loss as long as it's not violent. If it's violent, then you got to shut it down for that day. But if it's
Yep.
like, a couple of dollars, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, with indices, you have to respect
Mm-hmm.
that you may be down 100. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And that's just the pull. That's just the drawdown that you're in because your position is off. That's just the name of the game and
Name
stuff.
of the
Just
game.
don't let it get crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but a
Exactly.
lot of us, we see the turnaround and it's like, and it's like you really could have just got out of that trade and enter and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And even if you were like, man, I don't want to stay in this trade because now I'm confused on my bias, just make the money back and then be like, man, let me just wipe my hands clean and then go about my day, y'all. Because
Yep.
this is
Yep.
like trading is stressful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I
Yeah.
started trading US 30, it's like, bro, okay, this is what people be talking about, yo. Like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
like you gotta be mentally sound, but also acknowledge like a loss is a loss. Like it's just what it is. It's gonna come. Like you can't change it. But what will happen if you don't want to take the loss, then you just start losing money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you gotta
Yep.
accept that, bro. If I put a stop loss or if I have a mental stop loss, I have to accept that loss and shit and not be like, and that's what's been saving me. You know what I'm saying? Being like, all right, I think the market is turning around. Not that every time the market does something, I'm trying to switch directions and stuff. Because
Right.
if you do that in consolidation, you're beating yourself up. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But like when the market is trending and it's like, man, I think it's trending the opposite way. Man, the minute that I told myself the minute that even registers into my brain, whether it was an accident or if it's on purpose, like I'm gonna change, I'm gonna get out the market and change my direction and stuff because it's like I be seeing it. Every trader be seeing it. We just either you might have over leveraged, or for the most part, it's just like your ego is just getting past you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm
Mm-hmm.
not egotistical because it's like I already heard about the stories of millionaires blowing. Like this shit don't even respect millionaires. So what?
Right.
What
Yeah.
what do I hope to stand a chance? Not in like a negative way, but it's like that means I have to have respect for this craft and stuff, and I treat it as like, oh, anybody can jump up in this month. I mean, I do believe anybody can, you know that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like
Mm-hmm.
the successful part of the level that we're trying to get at to like if you want it just
Yeah.
to be like some money, then yeah, you can do that. You can jump in this market sometimes and make some money. But I ain't just trying to make some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Bro,
Well, I hear baby girl waking up, so I'm gonna let you go, but I appreciate you staying on a little extra time to chat a little bit. Definitely
of
miss these kind
course.
of sessions. So, but keep up the great work. I'll go and look at when you drop this on YouTube, I'll look at what you were talking about earlier when you started your call. So
Okay, sounds
I'll check
good.
it out. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Talk to you later,
All right.
yo.
Bye bye.
All right. And everybody on YouTube, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out. Thank you everybody that's participating with Digital Goats, man. It definitely means so much to me, especially how the season's been changing. So I hope this has brought value, especially with what we've been looking at for the past like 2 weeks, and make a lot of money in this market. I hope everybody gains value. I hope everybody makes money, and I will see everybody on the next video with Digital Goats Academy.